Man, I've been holding out on some news from y'all because I've been busier than I don't know what. But I got some great news, man. The boy is finally published. Let's go. Let's go. Like, I was published in the October 2019 issue of Fiction magazine. It's their black edition. Let's go. My pictures in here. My pictures. Yeah, we're going to talk about how this happened. I'm going to tell you just some tips on how to get yourself published. And I'm going to tell you guys some next steps about what I'm going to do off of this. Man, if you've been enjoying the content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Join this community. Join the fun. All right. So if you haven't heard of Fiction magazine, check them out. They have Instagram, Facebook. They also have a website. I really enjoy the selections in a lot of their magazines. I'm going to request some tear sheets at the end of this month, and I'll show those to you guys later. But let's get into what we came here to talk about. All right. So this is the magazine. This is my spread. I ain't opened this I opened it, but I was trying to keep it real fresh for you guys. But this is my spread. The name of the editorial was Wayside. I worked on this editorial with the model, Amadia, and a stylist. Her name is Anita J. And there are multiple images in here. I do like the way that they did the layout with the nice negative space, like on this side. Let's see. Do some more. Yeah, as you guys can see, like they even doubled it up, like with the story. Just kind of tells the story, like boom, boom, boom. I believe, and I can't say this 100% like confident, but I believe I'm the only film photographer in this issue. I can't say in the life of their magazine, but I can say in this issue, I'm pretty sure I'm the only film photographer. And my images actually are standing up pretty well next to the digital images. Everyone has their own style, and you can see it, man. It's some beautiful stuff in here, and I'll try to show you guys some of the images as I talk. His name is Dusan Jovic. Like, I love your images, man. Like, good work. Glad to be in the same magazine with you. This guy, he shot some really cool stuff. How did I name it Wayside? I came with the name Wayside because it felt like that when I was shooting. I was on location. I'm like, man, I just feel like we're like on the side of the road somewhere, like when I'm driving in the Midwest or, down south, and you see like this, these fields. And I always imagine shooting those fields, and I finally done it. Really, outside of the team, how did I do this? And I'm gonna give y'all 3 quick pointers on how to do this for yourself. First off, I already stated the team, but I cannot understate the importance of having a team. You have to have people that you can trust that can do their job. When you're on set and you're trying to produce as a photographer, especially with film, forget it. With anything, you need to focus on shooting. You need to focus on what you're doing as a photographer. That's your job. You need other people on the set to focus on their job. Whether it's hair and makeup, a stylist, an assistant, you need to focus on what you're doing and let them focus on it. And if you are wearing the same hat as creative director, you can't step back for a few minutes and say, okay, let's set this up like that. But then once you do that, you got to go back to being a photographer. And that's the importance of getting your stuff published, because you're going to need to show that you can tell a story. And that's actually the second point, is that you have to be able to tell this fashion story. If you look at the images in this magazine, you can tell that from beginning, middle, end, there's a story. It may not be like, hey, once upon a time there was, and then at the end, happy ending type thing. But you can tell that there's some sort of abstract story, and you have to be able to produce that. If you can't do it, I'm not really sure if your stuff's going to get published. I'm just speaking from my own experience. I know that I've heard that they like to see stories. And that means you have to have more than one look. You have to have more than 2 looks. I think bare minimum you want 3 looks, but that's why you need a stylist. That's why you need a team, because you're gonna have to change looks multiple times during the shoot. You're gonna have to produce faster as a photographer, because within that time slot that you have, whether it's 2 to 3 hours or whatever, you gotta shoot 3 to 4 plus clothing, looks. You gotta shoot those looks. Also, sometimes you may have another model that you gotta change out, but that's why it's important you have that team. And then the second thing of importance is telling that story, because you want folks, when they're looking at your stuff, to be like, oh yeah, I can kind of feel some sort of story in this. Okay, last but not least, but the way that I did this, I used an app called Caviar. I'm not sponsored by these folks, so it's just my honest opinion. It's cool. You go on there, you can see what magazines are looking for what's their mood boards. You may have something in your back pocket that you already shot that's, that they're looking for a mood board for, or you start there. You start with their mood board and you say, hey guys, this is the look I want to go for. And now you send that to your stylist, you send that to your model, and you work your shoot off of that. Actually, when I submitted, it was pretty straightforward. They tell you everything you need to do. They communicate, and then they let you know if if you got a subscription or not. I submitted mine as a free subscription, so I didn't pay for it. Like, I didn't pay for any sort of priority, but they did respond back pretty quickly, and my stuff is in the magazine. They said it's gonna be an October issue. It's in the October issue. Okay, so let's just talk about what I want to do next. This isn't the end for me. This isn't, all right, I'm accomplished. It's a start. It's a start to an end. The next thing I really want to do is, I do want to get published more. I do want to get published in more magazines. I'm not going to say that whole spiel of, oh, I want to get published in known magazines. No, I think if you're getting published in magazines that people view, whether it's industry people or photographers or models, you're published. Like, just because you're not getting the front cover of Vogue doesn't mean that it's not important. This, to me, is just as important as any other magazine, because now there are other people that can see my work that I've never met before. The second thing I really want to do is, I want to get a professional photographer critique on this publication, particularly on my items, not the publication in general, but on my items. So I'm going to reach out. I'm going to do some cold calls to some pretty popular photographers and see if they can give me some guidance on how I can grow. And I'm saying this because I think we all know, you guys watch my channel, we all can continue to grow. You have some of the greatest people on this planet at what they do, and they still take lessons. They still get critiques from some of their colleagues that are either in the same position or in a well-off position compared to them. So I do want to get a professional photographer critique. And last but not least, I want to shoot, this has been my thing, I want to shoot some famous people. Like, I want to shoot, whether it's a famous model or an artist, like a singer or a dancer, or someone that has done something that people know. I want to go into that territory and see how that experience will work. Because I always heard that you're going to need to be way quicker with people that are on a tighter time schedule than, your typical model or your friend that can help you out. So that's all I got, y'all. I'm so happy about being published. I'll end with this. They have a little quote at the end. It says, in photography, there's a reality so subtle that it becomes more real than reality. I thought that was pretty dope. But I'll catch y'all later. Like I always say, man, get you a film camera and shoot. Peace.